رو کے پکاری بھیا ہمارا کوئی نہیں ہے، لاش پہ زینب رو کے پکاری بھیا ہمارا کوئی نہیں ہے، خیمے جلے اور سجاد قیدی، کفنی تمہارا کوئی نہیں ہے، دیکھو اے بھائی میں زہرا کی جائی، لاش پہ آئی ہوں بے پردہ ہو کر، دیکھو اے بھائی میں زہرا کی جائی، لاش پہ آئی ہوں بے پردہ ہو کر، مارا گیا ہے عباس غازی، قاسم دلارا کوئی نہیں ہے، بے کش یتیموں کا قافلہ بائی، تو ہی بتا دے کہاں لے کے جاؤں، لاش سنبھالوں یا کنبے کو دیکھوں، غم کا کنارہ کوئی نہیں ہے، کڑیل جوان کی میت آئی، کہتی ہے لیلا اے میرے اکبر، کس کی نظر تم کو کھا گئی ہے، میرا سہارا کوئی نہیں ہے، بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد.
رحم اللہ من قرأ الفاتحہ. The Surah Fatiha is also requested for all these mahoomeens whose names we see. May Allah give them a place in Jannah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله وبالله وصلى الله على محمد وآله وأفوض أمري إلى الله. إن الله بصير بالعباد. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
روحي وجسمي ورواه العالمين لك الفداء يا ابن رسول الله. ثم السلام عليكم يا أهل العزاء الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن أكرمكم عند الله يتقاكم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
We have gathered here tonight. It is very important for us to understand the importance of this Ashara, which starts on the 1st of Muharram and ends back in Karbala on the 40th, which is the 20th of Safar. But it is important for us to understand what is the merit of me taking the time to come here. Always remember one thing, and I say this all the time, we didn't come here because we wanted to come. We came here because that is what Allah gave us, the opportunity to come here. There are many in this world who sit and wait for these type of occasions, but they don't get the opportunity. We received that opportunity, and we should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave us this opportunity. But such a beautiful opportunity that Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
is
Muhammad.
saying that when we have such an occasion, Imam Husain alayhi salam himself, along with his mother, Janabi Fatima Zahra salam
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
they attend these kind of ceremonies. And Imam says that when Imam Hussein looks at the people that have come for these occasions, he raises his hand to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he says, Ya Allah, forgive the sins of everyone who has attended my majalis. So it is very, very important for us to understand that Aba Abdullah al-Husayn is a very important figure in not only in Islam, but in the protection of Islam and for the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Ayatollah Mutahhari writes in a book called The Lectures of Ashura. He gives a brilliant incident of one time that he said that there was a caravan that was going towards Karbala. There was a Christian man who saw this caravan going, but he wanted to go to Baghdad. But he thought, let me join this caravan. And the people there told him, yes, ultimately we will reach Baghdad, but we have to go through Karbala first. So he said, okay. So the Christian man joined this caravan, and they were going towards Karbala. When they reached the gate of the entry of the shrine of Imam Husain alayhi salam, there used to be, even in olden days, there used to be a gate. The Christian came off the caravan And he sat there on the side. He said, I'm a Christian. And he said, I have committed just about every sin one could imagine in their life. But I'm a Christian. I'll sit outside here. You guys go and do whatever you have to do. So the rest of the caravan people got off the horses and they went into the shrine. Of course, they were there for a long time, and this Christian says that I went to sleep. I was very, very tired, so I put my luggage and I just slept on it on the outside of the haram. He said that he dreamt that the angels were bringing these zawars to Imam Husain alayhi salam, and they were saying to Imam Husain that this man here is a man who has always and always attended your functions. And Imam Husain gave him a piece of paper which he calls it maybe a certificate. He said, then another man came and he says, this is the man who always served people during the time of Adaya Husain. So Imam gave him a certificate. And that way all of these people, the zawars that were there, were receiving something. And when it came to an end, Imam Husain said, so now what? And the angel said, well, here's the list. We have already brought all the people that were supposed to be brought in front of you. He said, no, there is still one person that is missing. He said, the angel said, no, these are the people who were your zawars. He said, no, there is one person missing who is sleeping on the outside of my haram. And Imam Husain said, he is a Christian. I know that. The angels demanded, he said, he's just a Christian, he's just there. He said, I know that. But he said, remember, he's telling the angels, that when the dust of Karbala touches any body or any cloth, that individual becomes sinless and he's as good as the person who entered my shrine. You see? So it's no small thing. We come here, we have tears in our eyes. These tears are collected and we are told that on the day of judgment, they will be presented to Janab Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayhi. Now we look at Arabia. This was a country where there were no laws. It was a lawless country basically. There were absolutely no laws. The Christian, Jews, idols. This is prior to the Holy Prophet. But when the Holy Prophet came, all these businesses that were out there, most of them, they used to commit adultery, which was a norm for them. Drinking alcohol was a norm for the Arabs of that time in that cities. It was very norm for them to do whatever they wanted to do. The Prophet came to them and said, "Qulu la ilaha illallah tuflihu." He said, say la ilaha illallah and you will be successful. He was telling those Arabs. Who? Those who are selling alcohol. Those who are practicing prostitution. Every vice that one could imagine was happening there. And to them, the Holy Prophet comes and says, say la ilaha illallah tuflihu, and you will be successful. These were people who used to believe in idols. Their idols were made of stones and sand, to the extent that when they could not find that, they made their idols with halwa. And the irony was, when they were hungry and could not find the food, they went and ate those halwas. But they used to call them our creator. And there was nothing coming from these idols that would guide the people. So therefore these people were doing the things they were doing. Now the thing we have to understand, that had we been there, or we look in the very world we live today, which is an extremely materialistic world that we live in today, and somebody or an imam comes there and tells you, stop it. You have the normal practice, you're making thousands of dollars, you're putting that in the bank. And somebody comes of a pious one and says, listen, stop it. What you're doing is wrong, it's haram. Question is, will I, even though I'm talking about that time, but I'm also in a certain time and era. If the 12th Imam came, now we know him, he's the 12th Imam. But if we didn't know and he came and he said, listen, I want you to leave this, what you are doing is haram. Just pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say la ilaha illallah, would we do it? In these months, that is the analysis that we should do about ourselves. Who are we? Where are we? And where are we going? It is not a question of coming here, sitting, listening to a majalis, crying, doing azadari, and I go home and I am what I was before. I have to take one step. Allah does not ask us to take all our steps. Allah is asking, take that one step in life where you say to Abu Abdullah al-Husain that I am going to make a difference in my life. When you say that, the moment all this azadari that you have done, all these things that you come here and be part of is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you have taken that initiative. Traditions are traditions. If I come here and do azadari and do my matam and then I go home and I am not what I was, I am just the way I am, then I have not achieved anything. Why? Because when you look at Abu Abdullah al-Husain, when Ashura came on that day, when he found that all of these companions and his relatives had given their life, at that moment there was nobody left. Nobody left to go to the battlefield of Karbala. He goes and he addresses these people. And he said, Hal min nasirin yansuruna. Is there anyone who can help me? Now, logic says, why would he go to these people? The people who had killed his companions. The people who had ruined the lives of their sons. And in front of them, for Imam to go and say, Hal min nasirin yansuruna, to the people who had already committed the crime, why would Imam go in front of them? The thing is that Imam was not going to them. Imam was going to the people that would live until the day of judgment. That I am seeking help from you, come and help me. So how are we going to help him? We are going to help him by doing the thing that he fought that war for. We have to change that. We say in Ziyarat Waritha, وَاشْهَدُ أَنَّكَ وَأَكَمْتَ الصَّلَاةِ وَآتَيْتَ الزَّكَاةِ وَأَمَرْتَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهْيَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. We are saying that we are witness. Remember, we stand in the ziyarat and we are saying to Allah, we are a witness. as to why did Imam Husain go to Karbala. He went to Karbala وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّكَ وَأَقَمْتَ الصَّلَاةِ, to establish, to maintain salat, he said. وَآتَيْتَ الزَّكَاةِ, to be involved in a charity, in a charitable way. Amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar, to guide people towards goodness and to discourage people from those who are doing bad things. This is the reason Imam goes there, to reinstate and reform a society that was completely corrupt. Imagine the society that is sitting there, and when somebody goes to Umar ibn Sa'd and says, it is time for Asr prayers, which way is the Qibla? Umar ibn Sa'd says, look at where Husain is facing, that is the Qibla. Imagine. And still they went after him. Still they went after him. We have to analyze in these nights that we are here for 3-4 nights. What transpired? What changed these very people who used to call themselves Muslims? What happened? Because from the time of the Holy Prophet to the time of Ashura is 50 years, my brothers and sisters. Why did that generation, a generation to whom the Holy Prophet was saying, say la ilaha illallah. But how long did it take for people to leave that? How long did it take? 40 years for the Prophet, before he announced his prophethood. 40 years he lived among these people. He wanted to change these people. How did he change? He changed by taking Salman Farsi and making him Salman Muhammad. He took a person like Ammar Yasir. Look at the way the Holy Prophet is changing a society, one of the most corrupted society. If we think we are in this corruption, we are nothing compared to what was happening at the time. The society was so corrupt that he picked people like Ammar Yasir. He picked people that were doing like Abu Dharr Ghaffari. He brought these people, and out of that people he also brought a black individual. He took that black man and he said, listen, I don't want you to just be on the ground. I want to raise you to a highest level. And he took that black man and put him on the Holy Kaaba and said, now you give your adhan and let the people see who you are. You see, he took him up there. The Arabs were making fun of him, that he doesn't know how to say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, because his pronunciation wasn't there. But they wanted to make fun. But that is not what the Holy Prophet gave. What he wanted to do was to change this society. And when these people became the known people by the Prophet, who were unknown people, and they became so known, and the people saw that there is so much respect these people are getting, then they started to realize he was trying to change that society by putting examples from different parts of Middle East. And he brought people like Salman, and he said, I want you to live in this society and show them who you are. When Abu Sufyan, who was the biggest trader, this was a man who would visit a house of a person, and the person would proudly come and say, Abu Sufyan visited my house. They thought very proud of it. I think if Trump would visit one of us, we would do the same thing. Regardless of how or what we think. But because somebody is so known, comes and visits you, even though he's the most corrupted person, but he comes out because he thought he was so big. And then these are the people who started to see their economy, their wealth, everything started to decline. Not only that, but these were those who used to do tawaf of the holy Kaaba naked. They used to do naked. They used to just go around the holy Kaaba naked. Nothing big for them. These were the people who used to were ashamed of telling people that I have a girl in my family. Quran says that they took these girls up to the age of 9 and buried them alive. That Qabristan, if you go towards Mecca from Jeddah, you'll come towards that very Qabristan where girls were buried alive in that Qabristan. The Holy Prophet had to change these people. And among the changes that he brought were the changes of the respect to women. He took the women who were in the lowest pedestal at that time. The only reason women were utilized then were because of the desire of man. Even the Europeans, they used to take these women and put them in faraway villages. And they would only go to that village if they wanted to use that woman. The Holy Prophet wanted to change the status of the woman. He wanted to bring them at the highest pedestal. And Karbala shows who were those who, if any, had respect for women and children and who didn't have. Understand? And this is the beauty. When you look at a Ghadir, Ghadir didn't happen in Mecca. It happened on a barren land. Why? Why did the Prophet not explain to the people right there in Mecca? Because people would have said, Ya Rasulullah, we didn't see you. We didn't see you. So the Prophet said, no. I have to take all these people on a barren land and show who are the hypocrites and who are the true believers. And so he brings them on a land, and then he says that whoever's Mawla I am, Ali is his Mawla. He did that. 130,000 people, it is said. The Prophet is raised at the highest level. Those who had left were told to come back. Those who were going were told to wait. And he declared it by showing. Still from there were those who were not ready to believe it. Then we go to Mubahala. What happened in Mubahala? The same thing happened. The Holy Prophet wanted now to give a message not only to those who are of other faiths, but the biggest message that he gives there is to the Muslims till today. In Mubahala cannot be denied by any Muslim. No Muslim can deny what happened in Mubahala, because Mubahala is very evident in Surah Ali Imran. There's no denying what happened there. When the Holy Prophet was getting ready to debate with the Christians, and I talked about that in Mubahala here, so I don't want to go into the detail. But the Holy Prophet wanted to talk to these Christians, and then he challenged them. And he challenged them and he said, tomorrow morning, you will come on this open land, and I will bring those who are the truthful ones on this open land. Now, Muslims have always argued about ayah tathir. Right? They've always said that when Quran says in the 33rd chapter, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
that the people who were tathir, who were the pure ones, they argued that no, it wasn't just those 4 or 5 people, there were more. There were all of the Prophet's wives, all the family members. So we say, okay, take the tathir and keep it aside. Then they go to Hadith al-Kisa. They say Hadith al-Kisa, under that Kisa, under that veil, it wasn't just the Holy Prophet and his family, immediate family, it was more than that. So we said, okay, take that and put it aside. Now the Holy Prophet wanted to show those Muslims who are the ones who are the pure ones, which he shows in Mubahala. What he does, he comes out with, now the priest that was the head of the Christians told his people one thing that night. He said, listen, let me tell you something. I have met this man, Muhammad. He has explained it to me. But I want to warn you. And who are those people? You know, people think that these were ordinary people. They were not ordinary people. They were from Rome. They were the highest priests of Christians. They had that argument. But still the Prophet said, okay, tomorrow morning. So now this Christian priest is wondering. So he tells his congregation there, which were 60 or so priests. And he says, listen, tomorrow morning, there's a challenge. We have to go for Mubahala. But when we go there, look at one thing. If Muhammad brings his companions and all these other people, don't worry. He said, we will win this war of Mubahala. But if he brings only his family members, then no man would want to bring his family only, knowing that if you are lying, then the curse will come upon them. Because they said, whoever is lying, curse will come upon him. So if Muhammad only brings his family, then we are doomed. And what happens on Mubahala? There were many who thought that whole night, I'm going to be the one that the Prophet is going to call me and bring me. No. When the Prophet came out, he only came out with Imam Husain first. Yeah. And Imam was 5 years of age. He was not somebody who was little. 5 years of age. The Holy Prophet carries Husain on his hand, on the left side. And he took Hassan and Mujtaba on the right side and said, you hold my finger. Behind him, then he kept Janab Fatimatul Zahra Salamullah alayh. And behind her was none other than Imam Ali Murtaza alayhi salam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
A typical person does not set up the way the Holy Prophet had set up to come and face the Christians. But the message was to the Muslims. Nobody can deny that now. So when he comes there, he had Husain on the left. Why was Husain on the left? Because he was reminding the Muslims that, listen, if you want to survive and to survive as a Muslim, then have Husain always in your heart. That is why I am carrying Husain on my left side.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
He said, whenever you have any problem of peace, go to Hassan and Mujtaba alayhi salam. If you ever want to understand the position of Fatimatul Zahra, then she is that bridge that connects Risalat with Imamat. You understand? That is the bridge that carried Risalat and Imamat. And when you come to the end of the bridge, you have no one but Ana Madinatul Ilm wa Aliyul Babuha.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
So he was trying to change the society. Now you understand that Ghadir happened in an open land to bring those who were the hypocrites. Ghadir Mubahala happened in an open land. Karbala had to happen on an open land. If you understand Ghadir and if you understand Mubahala, why? Because imagine 18,000 letters went to Abu Abdullah al-Husain to ask him to come and help the people of Kufa. 18,000. Do you know what Imam did with those letters? After burying Imam Hazrat Ali Asghar, he goes and takes those letters and he burns them and he buries them forever. Why? Because Husain did not want to see any innocent person getting killed because of his sin. He did not want to do that. He could have exposed all those people. But out of those 18 and those who are in Kufa, we could see who were the real Muslims and who were the ones who called themselves Muslims. On one side, it was nothing but materialistic life. These people were given alcohol. They were given all kinds of vices. But they said, we still want to be Muslims. We want to be called Muslims. They had everything on this side. On that side, Imam said, you accept it, and I guarantee you, you will get Jannah for that. Umar ibn Sa'd was the son of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas. This man was the founder of Kufa, the city of Kufa. A good follower. But he had his son Umar ibn Sa'd. If Imam had spent the most time, was with Umar ibn Sa'd. You know why? Because this man was so well known. People used to call him an alim. He was a very good scholar for those people. And Imam says, listen, Umar ibn Sa'd, what you are about to do is wrong. I will give you Jannah. And you know what he says to Imam? Who has seen the Jannah? He said, these people are willing to give me the governorship of Iran. Now. He said, now I'm getting. We say, right? Where is the beef? If I want something now, here. Who has seen that world? But Imam Husain then tells him, listen Umar ibn Sa'd. My father owned a land in Medina, which was a very expensive land. Abu Sufyan comes to Imam Ali and asks him to sell that. Muawiyah goes to Imam Ali, says, sell me this land. Imam Ali said, no. Imam Hussain tells Umar ibn Sa'd, you want something? I will give you that land. I'll give it to you. He said, no. I'm getting the position in Iran, which is called Rai, which is the Tehran of today. He said, that's where I will become the governor. And Imam did all his best, but this man did not change. So out of all this that happened, Imam Hussain raised the level of the women. If he had gone there to fight, then there was no reason to bring your women and children there. There was no intention of fighting. He was going there to see what the people of Kufa were up against. Did Imam know? Yes, of course, he's the Imam of the time. He knew what this will happen. But to remove and to tell us and show that who is a true believer of Ahlul Bayt and who is not, we saw that in Karbala. Today, if a Muslim follows anybody on that side and says, Raziyallahu anhu, then he is not a Muslim. You understand? You know what transpired? Ummul Bani. Let me tell you about this woman. And I'm sure this is something you've never heard of this lady. She is among the most respected women. We know what women did in Karbala. But there were other women who did not join. Banin did not join. She was looking after the child of Hazrat Abbas. And she was looking after Fatima Sugra, who was not feeling well. So the scholars say that she remained behind. But Banin is one of those ladies, my brothers and sisters in Islam. If you ever in your life, and this is not me saying, Marhum Ayatullah Al-Khui used to say, that any time in your life, any difficulty you have, then any good deed that you do, whether you take out Tashbih of Janab Fatima Zahra, or you perform 2 rakat namaz, or you perform namaz shab, or you read Quran, give that as a gift to Janab Banin. And then see how your life will change for the better. Because she's very, very powerful. We should never ignore what Banin did. Who was Banin? Fatima bint Hazm al-Kilabiyah. She came from this tribe of Kilabiyah. And it is very interesting to know about this woman. She was from that tribe when Mawla Ali alayhi salam lost Janab Fatima Zahra salamullah alayhi. He had 4 orphans in his house. The youngest one was Kulsum. She was 1.5-year-old at that time when Bibi Fatima passed away. When she passed away, before that she told Mawla and said, I want you to marry a woman called Amama. Amama was the daughter of step-sister of Janab Fatima Zahra. Why did Imam had to marry her first? He had to marry because Bibi Fatima said that we have 4 orphans in the house. When I leave, I want you to marry a woman that will look after these children because they are very, very young. And so he married Amama. Then, after Amama, he marries Khawla bin Jafar, who was the mother of Muhammad Hanafiya. He was the mother. She was the mother. After her came Asma bint Umays. Now Asma bint Umays was first married to Ja'far, the brother of Hazrat Ali alayhi salam. Then when Ja'far died, she married Abu Bakr, the Khalifa. From that Abu Bakr, she had 2 children, but one child was there, and his name was Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr died within 2 years of the marriage to Asma bint Umays. Then Imam Ali married Asma bint Umays. And this Muhammad, who was the son of Abu Bakr, understand, he was the son of Abu Bakr, the second Khalifa, first Khalifa. But understand that he was the son. When this son was getting raised, he was getting raised in the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. So when people used to ask Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr, who is your father? He used to say Ali ibn Abi Talib. But today the world calls a man Radiyallahu anhu. You know who was that man? This man of, say, this Muawiyah says to them, he says, I want you to take Muhammad, put him in a body of a dead donkey. They took Muhammad and placed him in a dead donkey and sewed it up, and they burnt the dead donkey along with Muhammad in it. And this man who did this, Muslims are saying, Raziyallahu anhu. How can we accept that? This is the sad event. He's the son of Abu Bakr, not the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Imam was just bringing him up. But because he had a relation with Ali ibn Abi Talib. After 9 years of the dying of Bibi Fatima, then Imam Ali goes to Aqil. Aqil was 20 years older than Imam Ali. Aqil was a genealogy expert. He was sitting in Masjid al-Nabawi. People used to come and ask him that what about this family and what about this family, and he used to be an expert. He used to tell about that entire family tree. So Imam Ali goes to him and he says, I want you to find me a family, a girl from a family who have bravery and patience in them. And he said, okay. For 1 month, nothing happened. Imam Ali goes back to her and him and he says, please find me in the lady. And Aqil said, I have a family. I will introduce you, he says. And he gives the names of the people that Imam Ali knew very well. And they were known as very, very brave people of Arabia. And Imam Ali says, that is the woman I would like to marry. The night before the marriage of Fatima, whom we know as al-Baneen, mother of 4 sons. When that marriage happened, that night, before Imam Ali took the proposal, Aqil took the proposal, she had a dream. In that dream she dreamt, she says, that I dreamt that there was a man coming on a horse with a sword in his hand. But I was not afraid, she said. But I saw he was coming at me, and then suddenly my attention goes to the skies, and I saw 3 stars and a moon. And she woke up. She asked her father, Hazm. She said, Baba, can you ask someone, what does this mean? What does this dream mean? And so they went to ask. And the person said, that the 3 that you saw will be your sons. The 4th was the moon. Your son will be known as Qamar Bani Hashim. Understand? That morning, the knock comes on her door, and Mawla Ali and Aqil are there. And who recited Imam Ali's nikah? It was Aqil who recited the nikah with al-Baneen. This is that al-Baneen, my brothers and sisters in Islam. Recently, there was a case in Saudi Arabia, in Medina, outskirts of Medina. There was a lady who used to do majalis of Abu Abdullah Husain all the time in her house. When we say that Imam comes, it doesn't matter. Even if we hold a majalis in our own house, we should expect that he's there. He said that, she said, I held that majalis and it used to be known for me. But she said, one day I went into the kitchen and I was going to turn on the oven, and suddenly the pot of water, which was very hot, fell from that oven onto her hand, and she had 4-degree burns. She goes in, goes to the doctor wraps her hand around. And she said, I am in that dream, and I see that there are 3 women who are serving the people who have come into my house. In my dream I'm seeing that they are feeding these people. But then 3 of them came to me and said, listen, why aren't you serving also? She said, I can't because you can see my hand is burned. And one of the ladies kept her hand on her hand and said, no, there's nothing wrong with your hand. You should be able to serve. And she said, I was in my sleep. I wake up in the morning. I go to the doctor, and the doctor said, I have to take this wrap out of your hand. When the doctor took out the wrap, he looked at my hand and he said, I thought that you were burned. And she said, yes. But the doctor says there is no sign of it. This is Abu Abdullah al-Husain. This was his mother. Janab Khadija was there also. They come, when they see us, don't ever think that we are here for nothing. My brothers and sisters in Islam, we are among those fortunate ones who have come, who have come here to remember the sacrifice that Janab Ummul Baneen made. How much of a sacrifice? Hazrat Abbas was born 6 years after the marriage. And after that came Osman. And I will talk about that Osman tomorrow. Why did Imam Ali name him Osman? But here is her son Abdullah and Ja'far. But it is said that the institution of Majalis, even though we hear that Janab Zainab Salamullah alayh in the city of Sham, she was sitting and crying for Imam Husain. But the true institution of Majalises were established by Janab Ummul Bani. She was the lady. It was this lady. And how sad it is that when Bashir comes back, and Imam asks Bashir, you go and tell the ladies of Medina and the people of Medina that we have arrived. When he goes there, Banin goes to him and he says, what happened to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn? And at that time, Bashir says, who are you? She said, I'm Banin. She said, oh, Banin. Well, let me tell you about Abbas. And so she talks to him about Abbas. She talks to her about Abbas, and as soon as he's done, she says, what happened to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn? And he started to say, well, let me talk to you about Osman. Again she asked, what happened to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn? Bashir said that it was like she was not listening to what I was telling her. Instead, she was asking what happened to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn. And she said that when I told him what happened to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn, she had the son of Abbas in her hand, whose name was Fadl. History says that when she was told about Abu Abdullah al-Husayn, she lost the child and the child fell on the ground. She could not bear to hear what happened to Abu Abdullah al-Husayn. She used to go to Jannatul Baqi and she used to sit there and she used to draw the covers of her sons. But then she used to draw the cover of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn. What can be said about Abbas, who was given the training from Janab Ummul Baneen? On the night of her wedding, she comes and first kisses the steps of Imam Ali's house. She gets up and says to Imam Ali and to the children, do not regard me as your mother, because nobody can replace a mother like Fatima Zahra. Instead, she said that consider me as your maid. And this is the reason why Abbas and her brothers never used to call Imam Husain as brother, but always used to say, Ya Sayyidi. فلا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا وأي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم بحق محمد وأنت المحمود بحق علي وأنت الأعلى بحق فاطمة وأنت فاطر السماوات والأرض بحق الحسن وأنت المحسن بحق الحسين وأنت قديم الإحسان. إلهي توبة قبل الموت وراحة عند الموت ومغفرة بعد الموت والنجاة من النار ودخولا في الجنة وعافية من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ماتم حسين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Ya Husain,
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 Ya Husain, Ya Husain.
हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का,
मातम हरम अब्बास का,
हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का,
मातम हरम अब्बास का,
हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का,
मातम हरम अब्बास का,
हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का.